DW Africa Link.
Aujourd'hui, nous vivons cette situation et nous sommes les deux.
Today, we are enduring this situation and we are the only two people capable of stopping this escalation.
Forum et à travers lui le monde entier.
Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi surprised many when he recently used the European Union-organized Global Gateway Forum to call on his Rwandan counterpart, Paul Kagame, to work together to bring peace to the war-torn Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. There was just one problem. The DRC had already signed an American-brokered peace agreement with Rwanda. So what was Tshisekedi doing? That's what's coming up. I'm Cai Nebe. This is Africa Link, the podcast that connects you to the stories that matter from across Africa.
Africa Link, every weekday here on DW.
As a reminder, this is what Tshisekedi said in Brussels.
Aujourd'hui, nous vivons cette situation et nous sommes les deux seuls capables d'arrêter cette escalade.
Today, we are enduring this situation and we are the only two people capable of stopping this escalation. That is why I appeal to you with this forum, and through it, the whole world as my witness, to reach out to you, Mr. President, so that we may make the peace of the brave. And this requires that you give the order to the M23 troops who are backed by your country to stop this escalation, which has already caused enough deaths. We count them in millions over the years. History will judge us. It is time to stop and turn towards peace and development. I believe that Africa today needs to move on, Mr. President Paul Kagame, and we are capable of it. Let us have the courage to face one another, to say what is wrong, and to make the right decisions for our people.
However, his appeal was quickly rebuffed. Rwandan Foreign Minister Olivier Nduhungirehe responded directly on X, saying, "You are completely mistaken. The only one who can stop this escalation is President Tshisekedi, and he alone." President Paul Kagame did not even address Tshisekedi's comments directly. The silence was telling, and perhaps strategic. So, why has the Rwandan reaction been so sour? And what were Tshisekedi's aims in calling for peace at a European forum when his government had already signed an internationally recognized pathway to peace? To unpack this, we need to look at the broader picture. The Eastern DRC has long been a flashpoint, with multiple armed groups operating in the region, including the M23 rebels, who Kinshasa accuses Rwanda of backing. Rwanda, in turn, sees the presence of the FDLR, an armed group with historical ties to the 1994 genocide, as a direct threat to its national security. This complex web of accusations and counter-accusations has made peace elusive. And while the Luanda process of 2022 laid out a roadmap for the de-escalation, including the disarmament of the FDLR and the withdrawal of M23 from the occupied territories, implementation has been slow and fraught with setbacks. To discuss this further, I'm now joined by Congolese lawyer Jean Baptiste Gasominari. He is based in Rwanda and has lived there for many years since fleeing the war in the DRC. Last week, there was a bit of a diplomatic, I don't know if we can call it incident, but it was a sign where the Congolese president, Felix Tshisekedi, seemed to extend an olive branch, asking his counterpart, Paul Kagame, to work together to end the war that is in the Eastern DRC. Now, just a bit of context here. I mean, this was quite surprising considering that there had actually already been a peace agreement signed, brokered by the United States. So what was striking about this moment for you?
I may say that for us, we were not surprised at all, because President Tshisekedi is somebody who is not predictable. So what he did is in his habits. He does something similar most of the time. He makes statements, the following day he changes them. So Actually, there was no surprise. People who know him, who know his modus operandi, actually, he wanted to use that forum of European Union to make a communication that was favorable to him. But he did not mean what he was saying, because as you rightly mentioned, it's just 1 month or 2 months ago that a peace agreement was signed between the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Rwanda. And this agreement had what I may call a chronogram, a calendar of activities of how it will be implemented. On the side of Rwanda, I think everyone witnessed how this agreement was ratified very quickly by the institutions in charge of ratifying international treaties and legal instruments alike. So, but on the side of Congo, nothing has been done yet. So it can't be surprising to see a head of state who cannot implement an agreement that his country signed and an agreement that has something to do with bringing about peace and security in his country. And now, 2 months or after 2 months, he comes in the European Union in a forum like that one, which was not meant to discuss security because it was a purely economic and investment forum. But he just took the advantage to make his political communication. So for me, it was just an opportunity for him to make his audience understand what he wanted to tell them, but there is nothing in the direction of bringing about peace or tendering what he called an arm of peace. I think it was just a diversion.
Yeah, and other observers have subsequently said that this seemed like a case of, I don't sort of almost want to use the word grandstanding in a way, but that certainly seemed to be the way that the Rwandan foreign ministry took it. I mean, Rwanda's foreign minister replied very quickly and directly in a tweet or a post on X saying, that this is not basically to the effect that he was using a forum that was not meant for that purpose, and that, that he was essentially using it as almost like a diversion tactic. And Paul Kagame was actually a bit, I would say, hesitant. He didn't actually say that much afterwards, but he also certainly didn't endorse or didn't extend the arm to Tshisekedi at that moment. Now, one of the things I'd like to discuss now is that it must be clear that Tshisekedi is under some form of pressure. Now, we have seen, for instance, in recent months in the Eastern DRC that the M23 group that Tshisekedi has been saying is supported by Rwanda has in fact been making inroads into not just the military aspect of the conflict in the Eastern DRC, but also sort of civic stuff, administration. Is that perhaps something that Tshisekedi is recognizing and wants to sort of draw attention to?
Definitely yes, because not only he is under pressure from the international community because he has been successfully lying to everybody and corrupting right and left, but now it came time when they are now showing him tangible things that look, you have signed an agreement. There is a number of things that need to be done by your government, but you haven't done anything. Remember, he has signed a declaration of principle with AFC M23. It has a number of things that needs to be done. And the first one, which is the most important, was the liberation of prisoners, so that there will be a kind of confidence among the parties. But now it's more than a month and a half that this declaration of principles is signed, but Tshisekedi and his government haven't been able to release even one single prisoner among more than 700 identified and communicated to them through international ICRC, International Committee of the Red Cross. The pressure is from everywhere. So there are international actors that see that clearly he has no will to solve the issue in the Eastern DRC. Secondly, there is a war that is ongoing in the eastern part. So many areas have fallen to the rebels, and they are not under control of the government forces, and therefore the government does not have authority over those areas. But also the administration in general, because if DRC had 25 provinces, today it is controlling only 23. So all those pressures coming from all over the places. Definitely, Tshisekedi cannot say that he's not under pressure. Declaring that you want peace is not enough in itself. What is enough is doing or committing acts that translate that you need peace. Because Tshisekedi is the one who recruited and armed all those armed groups in the Eastern DRC. Those he has termed the Wazalendo. They are the ones responsible for more than 90% of the abuse of human rights in that area. So everybody knows that.
So then, from your vantage point then, there haven't been, for example, people that have sort of kind of said, well, the Rwandan government might reconsider its stance. It might change its relations in any way towards Tshisekedi, right? Because of acts like this.
No, actually, as I said, there is nothing to change because there is an agreement in place which has been signed in Washington, and it was brokered by United States government. This agreement is not yet implemented, not even one single article of that agreement. So as I was saying, you only change position when you modify what you have agreed with your counterpart. But for them, they say the agreement is there in its entirety. We haven't started implementing it. We have tried, or we have started doing our part in implementing. We are ready to do what we agreed to do and what we signed to do. So what we expect from the other side is also implement in good faith what they have agreed. So I think for the time being, there is nothing to be amended, nothing to be changed, nothing to be negotiated. Negotiated have been underway for a long time. I think you remember the CONOPS document that has been signed in October last year in Rwanda, Angola, which describes how the operations will be conducted to disarm the FDLR. Because actually the issue between the two countries is this FDLR. As for the internal issues in DRC, they concern Congolese among themselves. Rwanda has nothing to do with the internal problems in DRC. But it has a concern about its security, and this concern mainly is posed by the FDLR, which is not only backed by the government of DRC, but some of its members have been even integrated in DRC army. So what they are saying, we just want this group to be disbanded. Once it is disbanded, we have no problem with you. Because we cannot just sit and relax while knowing that we have an armed enemy right after our borders. And, I think it is legitimate to any country of the world just to be concerned about its security.
Would you refer to that then as like an existential threat then?
Exactly. So definitely, I think if the Angola peace process did not go up to the end, it was because Tshisekedi did not want to discuss those root causes that were the source of the conflict that is ongoing. And I do not know if you are aware, even after the forum of the European Union, where he extended that so-called arm of peace, he met the diaspora. The speech he made to the diaspora is different from what he had made earlier in the day. And it was around the same topic. So he said he is not ready to dialogue or to engage into a dialogue with people with dubious citizenship, that if he is to dialogue, he will be the one determining with who to dialogue and what to dialogue about. So I believe if he wants peace, he should remove all those barriers that cause peace not to be in place. Otherwise, speeches, one can always make a speech, because, you know, we are actually, I'm sorry to say, but we are now getting used to his misrepresentation. When he said that at any occasion, he has never threatened Rwanda in whatever manner, or any of the neighbors. This is total misrepresentation, because the speeches are there. He did not threaten Rwanda once, twice, or three times. It's several times, and the speeches are there, videos are there, audios are there, all material facts to prove that is there. So when somebody is known not to tell the truth, so whatever truth, if he may have it once, if he tells it, no one will believe him, because we are just used to his lies. So he keeps telling lies. He keeps changing statements. He keeps changing positions. That's why nobody believes him.
On that, the subject that you're bringing up again and again is this distrust of Tshisekedi internationally, but also within the Congo, but also in the area where this conflict is taking place. And from what we have seen there, it seems to be that the M23 group, which has taken control over vast areas of the Eastern DRC, how are they using that reputation, perhaps to convince people in those areas, look, you know, we are providing a different path here? Like, how are they using that to their advantage, or what more are they doing there?
I think for people who have had an opportunity to visit those areas, I mean the South and North Kivu provinces, especially their capital cities, the city of Bukavu and Goma, they are now different from what they were when they were under government forces control. Now, security has come back. Everyone is now going about his activities day and night for 24 hours. We are no longer hearing killings, abductions, or looting of civilian properties here and there. So I think what they are doing is trying to show how different, or the difference they can bring to the people that Tshisekedi did not bring to them. You had asked me to dwell much on those root causes. I think basically the first one is that denial of the rights to a big chunk of population just because of their ethnic group. So if they are fighting for refugees who have been there for about 25 years now, in refugee camps in neighboring countries, namely Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, and to a small extent Tanzania. So those people need to go back to their lands and go about their lives normally. So this is one of the root cause that need to be addressed, and to be addressed properly and in a sustainable manner. This is one. And secondly, you know, they have been harboring this rebel group that came from outside, which are accused of having perpetrated genocide in Rwanda. And these people have been in DRC for all this period. They have never been disarmed. In the contrary, their military capabilities have been increased by the government of DRC. So,
on that topic, we've talked a lot about the Tshisekedi aspect. We also talked about the Eastern DRC. But one thing I would like to get from your impression is within Rwanda. I mean, Rwanda has been in this situation for decades now. And at the moment, there seems to be a belief that the Rwandan government has got the Rwandan people's best interests at heart, and that so far Rwanda has been able to maneuver in ways that actually sort of keep the Rwandan people safe. However, what I'd like to know is there support within Rwanda to actually continue engaging with dialogue with the DRC if, as you say, there seems to be this distrust in the leadership of the DRC and promises get broken, the agreements do not get honored? Is there a feeling in Rwanda that we should continue diplomatic relations with the DRC?
Well, I haven't conducted any survey to give you figures, but when you hear that a country has put in place defensive measures, this means cost. This means everything that goes with it. So if this issue can be solved diplomatically, then everybody will be set and everybody will be happy about it, because dialogue is the most effective and the less expensive means of resolving any conflict. So this sentiment is there, and everybody expresses it every day. And when there is something like a dialogue or an agreement signed everywhere, you see how people have enthusiasm in that new initiative, because now everyone is interested in his or her economic development. And as you know,
exactly. I mean, what you're saying, because it isn't just, about declaring peace. It's also about the economic development of these regions. Those things mean a lot, don't they?
Definitely, yes. Definitely, yes. Everyone would like to have a favorable environment to do business and, increase his income and the welfare of his family and his family members.
So then just before we wrap up, I mean, we see this situation that occurred with Tshisekedi making this olive branch gesture, the Rwandan government sort of, not reacting very much to it. But do you see that this is actually a big sort of step, or do you see it as just sort of a continuation of things that have Tshisekedi has been done, and it's kind of business as usual?
No, actually, the Rwandan government hasn't changed its stance. For them, they say what we want is peace, and if we are to negotiate this peace, we need to be very honest and frank with ourselves. Everyone needs to do his part in the agreement that is in place. So the agreement has been negotiated and the agreement has been signed. Now it's time for implementation. Now, when it comes to implement an agreement, that's when somebody is tendering an arm of peace, what is calling an arm of peace. But what we expect, what Rwanda expects from him is do his part of the contract, because he has obligations in the agreement he has signed. He needs to ratify that agreement, then start implementing it. As simple as that.
Just a reminder to our listeners, the Angola Agreement, or Luanda process of 2022, aimed at diffusing tensions between Rwanda and the DRC, one of which includes the neutralization of the FDLR, or Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, which Kagame's government views as an existential threat to the security of Rwanda. I was speaking to lawyer Jean Baptiste Gasominari. That's it for today's edition of Africa Link. Remember, you're not just a listener, but also an integral part of our community. Your engagement is crucial in shaping the direction of our discussions and our productions. We value all your insights and encourage you to share your thoughts with us. And remember, you can find all the Africa Link episodes on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. This episode was co-produced and edited by Isaac Mugabe. I'm Cai Nebe, and until the next one, it's bye for now.
DW. Made for mind.